If your miracle hasn't arrived yet, stay with me until the end. Saint Anthony is already prepared to surprise you. This is not just another prayer. This is your sacred moment, the moment when the impossible starts to shift. You didn't find this prayer by accident. There's a reason your heart led you here. Because when every door seems closed, when your strength is fading, this is where restoration begins. This is the moment your miracle begins. Don't let go of hope. Not now. Saint Anthony is more than the patron of lost things. He is the saint of impossible victories. He steps in when no one else can. When illness strikes, when debt suffocates, when your family is falling apart. He has heard the cries whispered through your tears and felt the weight pressing on your chest. Whether it's healing, financial relief, or urgent family restoration, this is the prayer that works. So breathe deep, bring your pain, and believe, because something miraculous is already unfolding. Comment below if you're praying for someone you love. Write their name or your own and say with faith, Saint Anthony, I believe in miracles. Your comment may become the spark of someone else's answered prayer. O glorious Saint Anthony, we come before you with hearts worn thin by the storms of life. There are moments when we feel invisible, unheard, forgotten, but in your presence, we are seen. You who have responded to countless impossible requests, hear this one too. For the sick mother who hides her pain, for the father whose debts threaten to crush his dignity, for the parent crying silently over a child who has strayed too far. This is not just a prayer, this is our soul's cry for help, and we believe you're already listening. We place before you every desperate case that weighs heavily on our hearts, every family in need of restoration, every home breaking under pressure, every soul who needs financial advancement but sees no way out. O Saint Anthony, we know that where man sees dead ends, God creates new beginnings. We know that even now you are interceding with power, bringing forth answers from heaven. And for every person still doubting, remind them that miracles never come late, they come right on time. Don't let them stop here, Saint Anthony. Pull them deeper, because what you're about to do in their lives is just beginning. There is someone watching this who is ready to give up today. But something inside is shifting, awakening, remembering that God is not finished. To that person, stay until the end, because what you're waiting for is hidden in the final words. The impossible prayer that works is already unfolding. Don't leave before your miracle meets you. If you believe Saint Anthony is already moving in your favor, write "Glory to God" in the comments. Your words carry power, and someone else may need your faith today. The miracle begins. There comes a moment in life when words fail and only tears remain. When your strength is gone and even prayer feels heavy. But that is exactly when Saint Anthony steps in with urgent help. He doesn't come when things are easy. He appears when everything falls apart. He meets you in the silence, in the panic, in the midnight cries, and he brings with him a divine promise. I will not let you go unheard. You who are watching this with a heart full of longing, this moment is for you. You didn't stumble on this prayer by coincidence. This is a miraculous prayer today. Something higher is calling you into a miracle, even if everything looks the same. Your finances might still be broken, your health might still feel fragile, but in the unseen, something has already shifted. Saint Anthony is walking with you, right now, right here. When the doors have been slammed shut and all efforts fail, that's where the impossible prayer that works begins its power. Saint Anthony knows how to knock where no one dares. He brings healing into hospitals where hope has vanished. He opens job opportunities in dry deserts of unemployment. He reunites families through powerful Catholic prayer for miracles. There was a woman who watched this very powerful prayer to St. Anthony. Her son hadn't spoken to her in 5 years. They had one fight, and everything fell apart. On the 5th day of this prayer, she received a message. "Mom, I've been thinking of you. I miss you." It was not just restoration of family relationships. It was love resurrected. God's timing is not your timing, but it is perfect. When you pray with St. Anthony, you're not just asking, you're entering a covenant of miracles. He found lost things, yes, but more than that, he restored lost hope. And that's exactly what you're receiving now. The financial emergency you carry is not invisible to heaven. St. Anthony sees your fear when rent is due and your wallet is empty. He sees the shame of unpaid bills, the stress of not being enough. But you were never meant to carry this alone. His hands are already working behind the scenes, and financial advancement is already on its way. You might say, "But I've prayed before, and nothing happened." And I understand that pain. I do. But what if this is the time God has chosen to answer? What if St. Anthony was waiting for this exact moment of surrender to bring not just a solution, but a transformation, one that changes your home, your health, your heart? Miracles don't always start loud. They begin in stillness. Sometimes they're a phone call, a dream, a person knocking on your door. Sometimes they're a new perspective, a peace you can't explain. St. Anthony doesn't just bring what you asked for. He brings what your soul didn't know it needed. That's the mystery of an infallible prayer to St. Anthony. There are those watching who have lost faith completely. You once believed, you once hoped, but life hit you too hard, and you stopped praying. Let this be the moment you believe again, not because everything is fixed, but because something inside you is beginning to rise. Let St. Anthony teach you how to trust again, even if the diagnosis is terrifying, even if the job fell through, even if the person you love doesn't love you back. This miraculous prayer to St. Anthony is not based on feelings. It's based on divine truth. God has not forgotten you. He's working through St. Anthony to restore your family, to heal that chronic pain doctors gave up on, to break the cycle of lack and debt you've inherited, to guard your children even when you're not there, to rebuild the love in your home that seems too far gone. And yes, to bring back what was once lost, spiritually and physically. There are people who say, "It's too late for me." But St. Anthony has a word for you. No, it's not. If you're still breathing, there's still purpose. If you're still here, it means your miracle still has time. This is a prayer that works instantly, not always by sight, but always by faith that changes everything. When you place your burden into St. Anthony's hands, you're placing it into heaven's care. He doesn't panic, he doesn't delay, he moves swiftly where there is desperation, because desperate cases are his specialty, and your impossible requests are already before his eyes. Whatever it is, sickness, depression, a broken marriage, say it now. St. Anthony, I surrender this to you. Speak your pain into the presence of miracles, because healing starts where honesty begins, and you are safe here, you are seen. Let the light of this moment enter your darkness. Imagine what could happen if you let go of fear just for today. If you opened your heart again to trust, if you dared to believe that God still moves mountains, that St. Anthony still whispers hope into hopeless hearts, and that this prayer could bring the restoration of homes you prayed for. We are not here just to speak nice words. We are here to activate real miracles through real faith, to call forth healing, financial breakthrough, and restoration, to open the gates of heaven through urgent miracle prayer. This is not a wish, it is a declaration. Your breakthrough begins here. God honors persistence. Saint Anthony honors trust. When you come with expectation, you receive acceleration. There's power in saying, I won't stop believing, because that's when things begin to shift. That's when lost things are returned. That's when the impossible becomes your reality. Let this be your turning point. Let this miraculous prayer today be your anchor. And know this, Saint Anthony walks with those who keep walking. He restores, he heals, he surprises, and he's already preparing what you asked for, right now, in ways you can't yet see. If you believe in this miracle and feel St. Anthony is speaking to your heart, write, "This is my miracle moment," in the comments now. Let your faith inspire someone else to believe again. Hold on to the miracle you're seeking. You're still here, and that means your spirit hasn't given up. Something inside you is still reaching, still believing, even if everything around you tells you it's too late, too far, too broken. But St. Anthony is close to those who feel abandoned by life. He draws near to the weary, the overwhelmed, the soul barely holding on, because this is where the miracle finds its opening. How many nights have you laid awake praying without words, worried about your children, dreading the next bill, afraid the healing won't come in time? This is not the end of your story, not while St. Anthony walks beside you. His miracles are not random. They are precise, timely, and deeply personal, and your name is already before heaven. St. Anthony is moved by the unseen tears, the ones that fall while you smile for others. He sees beyond appearances into your true need. He doesn't just grant wishes, he brings divine alignment. He doesn't delay, he arrives exactly when the blessing is needed most. This is why we pray with him, because it works. This is a powerful Catholic prayer for miracles, not for the perfect, but for the broken, the tired, the ones on the verge of giving up. You don't need to feel strong to pray this. You just need to be willing to whisper, "Help me." That whisper is enough to move heaven through St. Anthony. That whisper can begin a new chapter today. Let this prayer lift you higher than the weight trying to bury you. If you're facing a financial emergency, don't run in fear, run in faith. St. Anthony has walked into homes with empty cupboards and left abundance. He has touched empty bank accounts and made a way, because miracles are not just spiritual, they're also practical. He provides what you need, right when you need it. Someone is watching this with nothing left in their account. You don't know how to buy food tomorrow, but St. Anthony does, and he's already preparing your provision. Expect the unexpected, an offer, a gift, a door, because he answers impossible requests in surprising ways. He specializes in urgent help, but he also brings peace. Peace while you wait. Peace while you fight, peace that calms your shaking hands. This is the kind of miracle most forget to ask for, but you need it too. So pray not just for the breakthrough, but for the strength to stand until it comes. You're not waiting alone. You're waiting with St. Anthony, and he never disappoints those who trust. Miraculous prayer to St. Anthony isn't about deserving. It's about believing, about surrendering, about saying, "I can't do this without heaven's help." When you reach that moment, that raw place, the miracle begins. You've just entered holy ground, and that's where things shift. You've asked for healing, now hold on. You've asked for financial advancement, now stay in position. You've asked for restoration of family relationships, now open your heart. God doesn't tease you with hope. If you're here, if you're listening, there's something for you in this. And Saint Anthony is already delivering it. Restoration of homes begins when one person prays differently. When one person says, "No more fear, I choose faith." You can be that person today. The one who breaks the cycle of lack, of conflict, of silence. The one who brings light into the family. Saint Anthony has done it before, and he'll do it again. There was a man who prayed this very prayer after losing his job, his home, and his wife, all in 6 months. He had nothing left but this prayer. He wrote, "Saint Anthony, I believe in miracles," in the comments. 3 weeks later, he was rehired at a better job. His wife called. They started talking again. Miracles often begin in the smallest step. Typing a name, whispering amen, pausing the panic for just 1 minute of faith. Don't underestimate these moments. Saint Anthony doesn't. He uses every act of faith as material for your breakthrough. If you've lost something, time, money, peace, pray now with Saint Anthony to help in finding lost things. He is the patron of recovery, restoration, redemption. He has helped those who were drowning in regret find a path to joy again. You are not beyond that hope. The enemy wants you to think it's over, that nothing will ever change, but the fact that you're here proves him wrong. The fact that you're still listening means faith still lives in you. Even a mustard seed of it is enough for miracles. And you have more than that right now. This prayer works because God is faithful, and Saint Anthony is close to his heart. This isn't superstition, it's divine collaboration. It's heaven meeting earth through a friend of Jesus. You're not asking a stranger for help, you're calling on a proven miracle worker. When you pray this, imagine Saint Anthony standing beside you, one hand lifted to heaven, the other on your shoulder. He is whispering your name before the throne of God, not with hesitation, but with holy confidence, because he knows the God who answers, and he believes your miracle is coming. There's power in repetition. Pray this again tomorrow, not out of fear, but out of faith. Speak it until your spirit believes it. Speak it until the walls crack and the blessings fall. This is not the time to back down. This is the moment to press in. If your heart is tired, let Saint Anthony carry it. He has walked with widows, orphans, and the brokenhearted. He knows what it means to suffer and to rise again, and he stands ready now for you. Yes, even you. Especially you. Miraculous prayer today means miracles today. Not in a year, not when you're perfect, but now, in your imperfection. Because God's love is not delayed by your struggle, it is activated by your faith. And that faith is already alive in you. Every word of this prayer builds a bridge from lack to abundance, from fear to peace, from waiting to breakthrough, and Saint Anthony is the guide on that bridge. He walks it with you, step by step, until the miracle is no longer a prayer, but a testimony you will tell. If you believe the miracle is already on its way, type "My breakthrough has begun" in the comments, and keep this flame of faith burning for yourself and someone else. Faith that moves, the miracle faith, is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about trusting even when nothing makes sense, even when the sickness lingers, the debt grows, the silence hurts. That's when faith is strongest, not when it's easy, but when it's all you have. And when that faith is combined with intercession, Miracles happen in places you never imagined. Saint Anthony is not just a saint of the past. He is a present intercessor for present needs. He stands between your pain and heaven's response. He speaks on your behalf when you don't know what to say. This is the beauty of the miraculous prayer to Saint Anthony. You don't need perfect words, just a willing heart. If you've ever thought, God has forgotten me, let this moment be the proof that he hasn't, because he sent you a helper, someone who knows how to pray for you, someone who understands financial emergency, family restoration, illness, someone who knows how to unlock the doors you can't. Saint Anthony is that someone. His intercession has brought healing to the terminally ill. It has brought employment to the jobless. It has reunited families shattered by decades of silence. This is not myth or legend. This is real. This is the result of powerful Catholic prayer for miracles, and it's available to you right now. Infallible prayer to Saint Anthony is not a formula. It's a relationship, a sacred trust in divine intervention. You're not calling out to the universe. You're calling on a friend of God who has proven faithful for centuries, and he is still working miracles today, especially in desperate cases like yours. When you feel like giving up, pray harder. When the darkness closes in, speak louder, because the enemy fears the sound of your voice in prayer. He trembles when you call on Saint Anthony with faith, because he knows what happens next. He knows a miracle is coming. Sometimes the miracle doesn't show up in lightning or thunder. Sometimes it shows up in the peace that passes understanding, in the courage to face tomorrow, in the strength to forgive what once felt unforgivable. That too is a miracle. That too is Saint Anthony's work. Have you ever prayed and felt nothing change? Then prayed again and still no answer, and still you stayed. That's faith. That's the kind of faith that activates impossible prayer that works, and heaven never ignores it. Saint Anthony's miracles often begin silently, but they end in testimonies that echo through generations. A restored marriage, a child healed, a home saved, a life changed forever. If you are here today, it's not just because of your need. It's because heaven wants to show you what intercession can do. You are being invited into something deeper, into a prayer that works instantly, not always in time, but always in impact. Saint Anthony hears every cry, and none of your tears are wasted. Let your prayer rise now like incense, not just a request, but a declaration. I believe in miracles. I believe in Saint Anthony's help. Let your words become the seeds of a harvest, because your faith is about to collide with divine favor, and the result will be undeniable. Think of the last thing you gave up on, the relationship you buried, the opportunity you stopped believing for. Now bring it back to life in prayer. Lay it at Saint Anthony's feet. Nothing is too far gone when grace is involved. This is restoration of homes, of hearts, of hope. You're not praying alone. Thousands are praying with you right now, and Saint Anthony is carrying every voice to heaven. He is lifting every impossible request. He is speaking your name before the throne of God, and God is listening. If your miracle feels delayed, don't assume it's denied. Delay often means preparation, and preparation means something greater is being built. Trust the builder. Trust the intercessor. Trust Saint Anthony. He has never failed those who stayed in faith, and you will not be the first. Imagine receiving that phone call, the one that changes everything. Imagine the report shifting, the door opening, the child coming home. It can happen because it has happened, and it all started with someone who chose to believe again. Just like you're doing now, you don't need a loud voice, you just need a faithful whisper. Even Saint Anthony, I need you is enough. Even help me believe again opens the heavens, because God is drawn to the humble, and miracles follow surrender. Every time you repeat this prayer, you are building spiritual momentum. You are planting hope where there was drought. You are declaring, I will not give up until I see the miracle. That kind of persistence breaks barriers, and Saint Anthony walks with the persistent. This is not a one-time prayer. This is a prayer for every day you feel weak, every moment you doubt, every time life feels too heavy. Come back here, come back to this miracle. You will find that over time, your faith grows, your fear shrinks, your peace multiplies. Because the prayer that works is not about emotion, it's about consistency. And you are building a foundation that cannot be shaken through every whispered word. Miraculous prayer today means transformation today, not just around you, but in you. You are becoming stronger, more anchored, more expectant. You're not just praying for a miracle, you are preparing to receive it. Let this be the day you remember forever. The moment you said, I believe again. Because everything changes when belief returns. And Saint Anthony is ready to walk you into that change. One step, one prayer, one miracle at a time. Don't stop now. If this prayer has renewed your faith, write, Saint Anthony, I trust in your intercession in the comments. Your faith could be the spark someone else needs to keep believing. Surrendering fully to the miracle. There's a point in every journey when holding on feels harder than letting go. When your hands are tired, your prayers feel dry, and your heart wants to give up. But that's when real surrender begins, when you give God everything, not just what's easy. Saint Anthony teaches us that surrender is not weakness, it's the doorway to supernatural strength. And it's through surrender that urgent miracles are born. You may have prayed for healing, for financial help, for restoration, and waited. But what if the delay wasn't denial, but preparation? What if God, through Saint Anthony, was deepening your trust before blessing your life? There are no wasted prayers, only prayers still unfolding. And today, something in your heart is being invited to let go completely, to step into full faith, no backup plans, just belief. This is not blind faith. This is a faith that has been tested by fire, a faith that's tired of controlling outcomes and ready to trust divine timing. Saint Anthony doesn't just respond to desperation. He honors complete surrender. He moves when you say, even if it hurts, I'll still believe. You are not too late. You are right on time. This is your invitation to a new level of intimacy with heaven. Saint Anthony is not just answering your prayer, he's inviting you into relationship, into sacred communion. And miracles flow from that sacred place. Surrender looks like praising when the bank account is empty. It looks like blessing others when your heart is still healing. It means showing up in prayer when you feel nothing, because your consistency speaks louder than your emotions. And Saint Anthony sees it all. He multiplies what you bring, even if it feels small. Some days, surrender will feel like loss, but in heaven's economy, what you lay down, God always multiplies. When you give your control, your pain, your timeline, you make room for heaven to move. You open your hands to receive something better. That's the miracle Saint Anthony is preparing you for. Have you been praying with one foot still in fear? Today is the day to step fully into trust, to stop clinging to backup plans and start clinging to faith. To say, Saint Anthony, I surrender this for real. That kind of faith shakes heaven. That kind of faith activates impossible prayer that works. Imagine giving God your deadlines and choosing His design instead. Imagine surrendering your logic and trusting His miracle. It's not easy, but it's powerful. Because surrender doesn't mean you stop praying, it means you stop panicking. And that shift invites breakthrough. This prayer isn't just about fixing your life, it's about aligning your soul. And Saint Anthony knows how to align what's out of place. He doesn't just bring blessings, he prepares hearts to carry them. He doesn't just restore homes, he rebuilds foundations. So when the blessing comes, it lasts. Surrender is the foundation of restoration of family relationships. It's what softens hearts, heals bitterness, restores trust. Saint Anthony's miracles aren't surface level. They're deep. They don't just touch what's broken, they transform it. That's the power of miraculous prayer to Saint Anthony. And that's what you're walking into now. There is power in saying, God, I give you this completely. Power in admitting you can't do it alone. Power in saying, Saint Anthony, I need urgent help. Because heaven meets honesty with healing, and healing is exactly what your soul has been crying for. Let this be the moment it begins. For the one waiting for a financial breakthrough, let go of how you think it must come. God doesn't need your strategy. He needs your surrender. Saint Anthony has opened doors in impossible places. This prayer to Saint Anthony for financial emergency still works, and it begins with letting go. Someone right now is watching this in deep pain. You've tried everything and nothing has worked. This is your moment to stop striving and start trusting, to trade effort for surrender, to say, Saint Anthony, I can't, but I know you can. That prayer is enough. The restoration of homes doesn't always come through words. Sometimes it starts with surrender in silence, with a humble spirit saying, change me first, Lord. That's the kind of prayer Saint Anthony answers. Not the loudest, but the most honest. And your honesty is opening doors. If you feel unseen, you're not. If you feel unheard, heaven is listening. Saint Anthony is interceding even for what you can't explain. Even the pain you buried, even the dreams you forgot, they're all being carried into God's hands. This is a very powerful prayer to Saint Anthony, not because of volume, but because of the heart behind it. He responds to brokenness, to humility, to quiet faith. He shows up when we stop performing and start trusting. And right now, he's closer than you think, closer than your fear, closer than your doubt. Do you believe God can surprise you today? Do you believe He can work a miracle now? Not next month, not someday, but today. That's the faith Saint Anthony is awakening in you. The faith that says, I don't know how, but I know who. And that is enough for a miracle. Miraculous prayer today starts with, God, I don't need control. I need you. It begins with open hands and an open heart. It begins with giving God access to all of you. Saint Anthony is ready to walk that journey with you. Will you take the first step? Surrender isn't always a big moment. Sometimes it's in the little decisions. Turning off fear, turning up worship, giving instead of hoarding, praying again even when tired. That's where miracles live. Let your surrender be your worship. Let your trust be louder than your fear. Let this powerful Catholic prayer for miracles shape your day. And let Saint Anthony carry your impossible requests. You don't need to hold it all together. You just need to believe that God is. He sees the single parent begging for strength. He sees the child worried about their family. He sees the tears behind your smile, and he sends Saint Anthony to remind you, you are not forgotten, you are fully seen. When you place it all in God's hands, something shifts. Peace replaces pressure. Grace replaces guilt. Joy replaces anxiety. That's not a theory, it's a promise. And Saint Anthony is the proof. This is your turning point, the moment you fully surrender. Not out of defeat, but out of faith. Faith that God will do what you cannot. Faith that Saint Anthony is already moving. Faith that the impossible is not impossible anymore. If you are ready to fully surrender and trust in God's timing, write Saint Anthony, I give it all to you in the comments now. Let your words be the gateway to your miracle. Complete trust in the miracle. There comes a point when you stop asking if and start declaring when. Not if the miracle will come, but when. Not if Saint Anthony will move, but how soon. That's what complete trust feels like. It's a confidence rooted in heaven, not in circumstances. And today, you're being invited into that trust. You've already surrendered, you've already prayed. Now it's time to believe with all your heart. Because miracles don't just visit the perfect, they visit the faithful, the trusting, those who dare to say, I believe before I see. And that's what Saint Anthony honors. This prayer is no longer just a request, it's a declaration. You're no longer begging, you're believing. You're speaking life into dry places. You're speaking provision into your financial emergency. You're speaking healing into your body, restoration into your family. And it's working, even now. Saint Anthony moves in the atmosphere of expectation. Where faith is alive, miracles take root. So lift your eyes, lift your faith, speak as if your breakthrough has already begun, because in the Spirit, it has. God is already releasing what you've asked for. Complete trust means you don't need constant reassurance. You don't need signs every 5 minutes. Your peace comes from knowing who you've placed your trust in. You've placed it in the hands of a saint called the Wonder Worker, the one whose intercession brought countless impossible requests to life. And your request is next. Don't let fear rewrite your future. Don't let delay become discouragement. Let trust anchor your soul, even if nothing looks different. Yet, that word matters, yet. Because what is unseen is more real than what is seen. Your job isn't to make it happen. Your job is to stay ready when it does, to prepare your heart, to act like the miracle is already knocking. That's faith, and that's what activates this powerful Catholic prayer for miracles. When you believe, your posture changes. You walk lighter, you breathe deeper, you pray bolder, because the outcome is no longer a maybe. It's a matter of time, and Saint Anthony is walking with you toward it. Faith doesn't deny the facts. It just believes in a truth that's higher. The truth that God heals, that God provides, that God restores families and answers urgent help with divine timing. That truth is your foundation now. This is the kind of trust that moves mountains, that opens doors, that makes the impossible crumble. Because when you stop doubting and start declaring, heaven responds and miracles follow. Some people say, I'll believe it when I see it. But you're saying, I'll see it because I believe it. That's what separates the doubter from the receiver. That's what Saint Anthony is stirring in you right now. An unshakable confidence in a miracle that's already been dispatched. A promise already on its way. You prayed for restoration of homes. Now believe it's happening. You asked for family restoration. Now expect reconciliation. You declared healing. Now walk in renewed strength. You planted the seed of faith. Now water it with gratitude. Trust is the water that makes miracles grow. And you've got enough today. If fear tries to creep in again, speak louder. Say, Saint Anthony, I trust in your intercession. Say, "This is a miraculous prayer today, and I believe it works." You are not pretending, you are prophesying. You're speaking into existence what God already spoke over you. That's powerful faith. The enemy would love for you to give up now, to stop just before the blessing breaks through. But not today. You've come too far. You've endured too much. And your miracle is too close. Now is the time to act like it's already done. To say thank you before it arrives. To make space for the answer. To prepare your table. Because Saint Anthony delivers blessings you'll need room for. Get ready. If your bank account is low, declare provision. If your heart feels heavy, declare peace. If your child is distant, declare reunion. Whatever has been lost, declare it found. Finding lost things isn't just about objects. It's about finding hope, identity, and purpose again. Saint Anthony has no limit to his reach. He's answered prayers in hospitals, courtrooms, classrooms. He's restored marriages, freed the oppressed, rescued the hopeless. And he will do the same for you. Because this isn't just a prayer that works instantly. It's a prayer that works eternally. Confidence in the miracle does not mean you won't feel nervous. It means you won't be controlled by fear anymore. You'll move forward anyway. You'll take steps even when the fog hasn't cleared. That's trust. That's where the breakthrough lives. You're not just waiting for a miracle, you're living in one. Every breath you take, every word you speak, every act of kindness, every moment of faith, it's building momentum in the spirit, and Saint Anthony is guiding it toward your door. Declare today, "My miracle is not on hold, it's on the way." Say it until your mind catches up with your spirit. Say it until your house shifts, until your relationships soften, until your body aligns with healing. Faith speaks and then watches God move. You've prayed with your whole heart, you've wept, you've believed. Now walk forward like it's already yours. Because in God's timing and through Saint Anthony's intercession, what you seek is already seeking you. Your miracle has recognized your faith. Let this be your testimony. I believed before I saw. I praised before I received. I trusted when I had no reason to. And that's the kind of trust that draws heaven close, that opens impossible doors, that brings instant miracles into broken places. And you're walking in that right now. You're not just surviving anymore, you're stepping into overflow. Overflow of peace, overflow of provision, overflow of answered prayers. It started with surrender, and now it's blossoming into blessing. Don't just wait, expect. Don't just hope, declare. Don't just believe quietly, believe boldly. This is the miracle Saint Anthony is delivering, one that shakes your doubts and builds your legacy, one you'll never forget. If you believe your miracle is already in motion, write, "I trust, I believe, I receive" in the comments. And let this final declaration be the key that opens the floodgates of heaven over your life. Final blessing. May the peace of God rest upon your heart like gentle rain on dry ground. May every worry you carried into this prayer melt under heaven's grace. And may Saint Anthony, with his tender mercy, walk beside you every step from this day forward. Let your soul breathe deeply, knowing that you are not forgotten, not abandoned. Today, a new beginning has silently entered your life. I bless your home. May it be filled with warmth, healing, and sacred protection. May broken conversations turn into bridges of peace. May every room echo with laughter and the sound of restoration. Where there was silence, let there now be songs of joy. Where there was tension, let peace reign. I bless your body, every cell, every fiber, every function. May illness loosen its grip and strength return to your bones. May healing flow like a river through your veins. May your rest be deep, your mind clear, your breath steady. You are covered by heaven's hand. I bless your finances. May your needs be met with abundance. May opportunities open where you saw only closed doors. May the right people and the right answers arrive at the right time. Let Saint Anthony lead you to unexpected blessings. Let every debt be met with divine provision. I bless your family, those near and those distant. May misunderstandings be healed and lost connections restored. May your children walk in protection and purpose. May forgiveness replace resentment and love rewrite every painful chapter. Family restoration is already beginning. Believe it. I bless your dreams, the ones you've buried, the ones you're afraid to speak aloud. May courage rise again in your heart. May Saint Anthony guide you to divine ideas and holy timing. Let nothing from your past steal your future. Your destiny is still alive and breathing. I bless your faith, even if it's trembling, even if you don't feel strong, even if you still have questions. God sees your heart, not your perfection. May your faith grow roots that no storm can shake, because what you believe today shapes what you receive tomorrow. I bless your tears, for everyone has been counted. They are not wasted, ignored, or forgotten. They are seeds in God's garden of compassion, and Saint Anthony gathers each one and offers it in prayer. Your sorrow will not be the final word. I bless your steps. May they be firm and directed by heaven. May your path be lit by grace, not by fear. May every detour lead to a hidden blessing. May divine interruptions guide you towards something greater. You are never walking alone. I bless your decisions, big and small. May you be guided by wisdom beyond your own. May peace confirm your yes, and unease protect you from the wrong path. Saint Anthony walks with the humble. May humility and discernment be your compass. I bless your nights. May sleep return to your pillow. May nightmares be silenced and your soul be wrapped in rest. Let the darkness lose its grip and light enter your dreams. May angels guard every corner of your room. Tonight, peace will be your companion. I bless your voice, that you may speak with hope and not despair, that your words bring healing, not harm, that your prayers rise with confidence, not fear. You were created to declare, not to be defeated. Saint Anthony responds to those who speak in faith. I bless your relationships, friends, partners, co-workers, even strangers. May you attract those who see your value and reflect your light. May toxic ties be severed and true bonds be strengthened. May love surround you in every form it takes. You are worthy of deep, safe, unwavering love. I bless your spirit, that it would rise today, that it would breathe again, hope again, trust again. May your heart know joy that doesn't depend on results. May the impossible no longer frighten you, but excite you, because God and Saint Anthony are already ahead of you. Finally, I bless your miracle, the one you asked for and the one you didn't. May it arrive swiftly and visibly. May it bring peace that lasts, not just relief that fades. And may you never forget, you are loved, chosen, and guided. Now walk forward. Your blessing has already begun. What if the turning point in your life wasn't a change in circumstances, but this moment of prayer? What if this was the night everything began to shift? Not because the problem disappeared, but because your faith grew stronger than your fear. Do you believe your life can be rebuilt, your family restored, your heart healed? Because you didn't just pray, you declared a new season over your future. Will you walk differently now, trusting St. Anthony's intercession even when you don't see immediate results? Will you speak life into dead places, peace into chaos, and provision into lack? You've come too far to go back. The prayer has been spoken. The seed has been planted. Now live as if the harvest is already on the way. Let today be the day you remember forever. The day you stopped begging and started believing. The day you traded your timeline for God's miracle. St. Anthony heard you. Heaven heard you. Now watch what happens when you choose to live by faith. You are no longer the same person who started this video. You've released burdens, reclaimed peace, and stood in full trust. Your miracle has already begun its journey toward you. So move forward with confidence, with hope, with bold expectation. Because when God moves, nothing remains the same. If this prayer moved your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Someone you love is silently crying out for a breakthrough. Share this powerful prayer with them. You could be the bridge to their miracle. Click the share button and let St. Anthony's light reach those in the dark. Let your faith become someone else's answered prayer. We invite you to be part of this growing community of faith. Leave a comment below with the name of someone you're praying for, or simply write Amen as a sign of surrender and belief. Your words create waves, and we pray over every single name. Here you are not alone. You are part of a family of miracles. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. New prayers, new testimonies, and powerful moments of faith are shared every day. Click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss what God is doing through St. Anthony. Let's walk this journey together, one miracle at a time. And finally, if you truly believe that your blessing is coming, write in the comments right now, "My miracle has already started." Let that be your public act of faith. Let the heavens see and let others be inspired. Together we declare, this is the season of answered prayer.